If you saw with your own eyes how these things are made, you'd throw them away instantly, even if they were already in your hand. That's the warning from Elon Musk, and sadly, he's not exaggerating. We still eat them. We still drink them. A familiar bag of snacks, a favorite can of soda, a steaming hot sausage, or an innocent-looking pastry. Fast, convenient, familiar, but also silently destroying your body hour by hour, because you've never actually seen the chemicals being poured directly into the production line, or the insects ground up with the ingredients, or the artificial coloring, designed for pet food, showing up in the drink you're sipping. If you think the products lining supermarket shelves are all safe, thoroughly tested, and good enough to eat, watch this video to the end. We'll take you through 16 popular foods and drinks, and here's your warning. Once you learn the truth, you might never want to touch them again. 16. Red Bull, the Bull Semen Rumor. Red Bull, the energy drink everyone knows for its quick boost, might make you pause before your next sip. Not because of the sugar or caffeine, but because of a shocking truth tied to one of its ingredients: taurine. For years, a persistent rumor claimed that Red Bull contains bull semen, which led many people to avoid the drink altogether. And if you've ever believed that, here's the truth. Stop right there. Yes, taurine, Red Bull's key ingredient, was originally extracted from ox bile and bull semen, but that was long ago. Today, taurine used in Red Bull is synthetically produced in laboratories and has zero connection to animal sources. So, where did the rumor come from? It's simple. The name taurine comes from the Latin word taurus, meaning bull. That linguistic root led many to assume the ingredient must come from bovine fluids. However, recent findings from nutrition experts show that taurine isn't nearly as dangerous as many think. According to Dr. Linda Foster, lead nutritionist at the National Institute of Nutritional Research, taurine actually helps with endurance, stress reduction, and anxiety relief, especially during physical activity or sports. Still, even though modern taurine is lab-made, drinking energy drinks excessively is far from a healthy habit. Studies have shown that overconsumption of energy drinks can raise the risk of heart disease and high blood pressure. So the real question is, will you keep drinking Red Bull without concern, or start questioning what you're really putting into your body? And if you think you already know everything about what you're drinking, think again. There's something even more surprising waiting in the world of beverages. 15. Chewing gum. The sheep's secretions you're chewing on. Most of us love chewing gum. A simple habit that keeps our breath fresh and our mouths busy. But do you really know what you're chewing? You might want to reconsider once you learn the disturbing truth behind this seemingly innocent treat. Dr. Sarah Davis, a clinical nutritionist, warns that chewing gum can contain lanolin, a greasy substance secreted from sheep's wool, commonly used as a water repellent. It's added to gum to enhance its chewiness, but it's definitely not something most people would knowingly ingest. So, while you thought you were enjoying something harmless, in reality, you might be chewing on something derived from sheep's wool. And that's just the beginning. According to a report from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, chewing gum can also contain a range of industrial chemicals, including polyethylene, polyvinyl acetate, types of plastic, as well as softeners like vegetable oil and glycerin, none of which do your body any good. Worse still, most modern chewing gums are sweetened with artificial sweeteners such as sucralose, xylitol, and sorbitol, ingredients that multiple studies have linked to potential health risks, especially when consumed in large amounts. To make matters worse, chewing gum has also been associated with serious health issues like temporomandibular joint, TMJ disorders, headaches, and even digestive problems. If you happen to be sensitive to artificial sweeteners, you might experience diarrhea, something no one wants while popping a piece of gum. So next time you open a pack of chewing gum, ask yourself, do you really know what you're putting in your mouth? And if you think that's the end of the story, think again. What's coming next is a shocking truth about one of the most popular drinks people turn to when they need a boost of energy. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. 14. Coca-Cola. A delicious drink that's easy to get hooked on. Coca-Cola, one of the most popular beverages in the world, is likely a familiar name to just about everyone. But behind that refreshing label lies a bitter truth you probably never expected. Just one can of Coca-Cola contains 39 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 10 teaspoons, double the daily amount recommended by health experts. Studies have shown that regularly consuming such massive amounts of sugar can lead to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Dr. John Smith, a cardiologist at the Mayo Clinic, shares, "I've treated countless patients with strokes and cardiovascular disease, and one thing many of them had in common was a regular soda habit, especially Coca-Cola. Soda increases visceral fat, which is a major risk factor for both heart attacks and strokes. And that's not all. Drinking Coca-Cola can also deprive your body of essential nutrients." Dr. Jane Williams of Harvard Medical School warns, "Sugar in soft drinks can reduce your body's ability to absorb calcium, leading to osteoporosis and other skeletal issues." Even more concerning, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reports that sugar directly affects parts of the brain linked to cravings and addiction. When you consume sugar, your body releases dopamine, a brain chemical that creates feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. This sets off an addiction-like response, making you crave more, even when your body doesn't need the extra calories. So, did you know that what seems like a harmless habit could be hiding serious long-term risks? And if you think Coca-Cola is just one example, keep watching because what you're about to discover may make you rethink many of the products you consume every day. 13. Beer, not always vegan-friendly. Beer, a staple at social gatherings, is widely enjoyed, but few people realize that every glass might contain a surprising ingredient: isinglass. This is a type of gelatin derived from fish bladders, used since the 19th century to make beer appear clearer and more visually appealing. It might not sound too alarming at first, but for vegetarians or those avoiding animal products, isinglass is a hidden concern. So why is isinglass in beer? While it doesn't alter the taste or smell, isinglass acts as a clarifying agent, helping to remove unwanted particles and give beer its bright, clear appearance. However, that clarity comes at a cost for many. According to a study by the Vegetarian Resource Group, over 200 beers still contain isinglass. Even though many modern breweries are now turning to non-animal alternatives like polyvinyl polypyrrolidone, PVPP, or bentonite clay to achieve the same result without using animal byproducts. In addition to ethical concerns, excessive beer consumption can have serious health consequences. A report from the American Heart Association states that drinking too much beer increases the risk of heart disease, obesity, and liver problems. Dr. Robert Goodwin, a liver specialist at Mayo Clinic, explains, "Many of my patients have suffered from severe liver issues and even strokes after years of excessive beer consumption." So, are you still comfortable raising your glass without knowing what's in it? Is the visual clarity of your beer really worth the potential impact on your health and values? Think twice before you toast. 12. Instant noodles. A convenient packet, and a long list of things you'd never want to digest. 3 minutes to cook. No fridge needed, no planning required. Instant noodles have become the ultimate hunger saver, from student dorms and office breakfasts to late-night meals for graveyard shift drivers. But here's the real question. When something is that convenient, isn't it worth asking, what exactly is inside? 1 noodle strand. More than just flour. A study by the Colorado Institute of Food Science revealed that instant noodles contain no fiber, no vitamins, and no minerals, just refined carbs, saturated fat, and additives. In other words, you'll feel full fast, but your body gains nothing from it. So, what makes noodles last 6 months without mold or spoilage? TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, a petroleum-derived preservative used to prevent rancidity. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, TBHQ, when accumulated in the body, can lead to liver damage, digestive disorders, and chronic inflammation. Inside the seasoning packet, not just salt beyond sodium, many brands include MSG, monosodium glutamate, at high levels. While MSG is approved within safe limits, the amounts used in instant noodles often exceed what's nutritionally necessary. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found consuming instant noodles 3 times per week is linked to a higher risk of metabolic syndrome, especially among women. And if you think your body breaks it all down within hours, a video experiment by Massachusetts General Hospital showed that instant noodles remained intact in the digestive tract even after 2 hours, while fresh noodles had almost fully broken down. Research published in the British Medical Journal further emphasized, frequent consumption of instant noodles disrupts gut microbiota, affecting metabolic functions and inflammatory response. The cheapest meal might come with the highest hidden cost, Dr. John Williams, a cardiologist in New York, shared in an interview with NPR. "I've never treated a single patient with obesity, hypertension, or dyslipidemia who didn't regularly eat instant noodles. One pack may cost just a few cents, but the health consequences aren't so instant. You might not feel anything after that midnight snack, but when it becomes a habit, your body remembers every additive it had to fight through. And this is just one of many convenient but harmful foods quietly sitting in your kitchen every day. 11. Bottled orange juice. Is 100% pure orange even real? You probably think orange juice is a refreshing, healthy way to start your day. But hold that thought, because when you grab a bottle off the shelf, you might actually be drinking a chemical cocktail you've never even heard of. That so-called 100% pure orange juice isn't always made from fresh, sun-kissed oranges like you imagine. According to Alyssa Hamilton, author of Squeezed: What You Don't Know About Orange Juice and a researcher at the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy, IATP, most orange juice sold in supermarkets is processed using something called flavor packs. These are specially engineered flavor mixtures made from chemical compounds extracted from orange oils, then reassembled by fragrance companies to mimic the aroma of freshly squeezed juice. What smells natural is, in fact, an artificial scent that doesn't exist in nature. This raises a critical question. If your orange juice doesn't really come from fresh oranges, then what is it? Studies show that one of the main ingredients in these flavor packs is ethyl butyrate, a synthetic compound added to replace the aroma lost during oxygen removal and storage, a process designed to extend shelf life. So instead of drinking the real essence of orange, you're sipping on chemically reconstructed juice. Experts warn that not only do these processing techniques strip away the nutritional benefits of fresh oranges, but the synthetic compounds used in flavor packs may pose long-term health risks. These chemicals have been linked to organ damage and increased risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. So ask yourself, are you really drinking pure orange juice or just a chemical illusion in a bottle? It might be time to rethink what you're really consuming. 10. Nutella, a breakfast of sugar and palm oil. Nutella, the beloved sweet spread for millions, was once marketed as part of a healthy breakfast. But when you look at the ingredient label, you have to ask yourself, how can a product made up of 70% saturated fat and refined sugar be considered good for you? A study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that diets high in saturated fat and refined sugar significantly increase the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. Just 2 tablespoons of Nutella deliver 200 calories, with 99 calories from fat and 80 calories from sugar. Each spoon contains 21 grams of sugar, well above the daily recommended limit. In truth, Nutella is far from a nutritional product. In a class action lawsuit in the U.S., Ferrero, the manufacturer of Nutella, was accused of misleading consumers by advertising the product as healthy. The company was ordered to pay $3 million in compensation and revise its marketing practices. They were widely criticized for employing health-washing tactics, giving the false impression that Nutella is part of a balanced breakfast. Beyond the excessive sugar and fat content, Nutella also includes ingredients such as processed palm oil, vanillin, and lecithin, all of which may be harmful if consumed regularly. Dr. Tim Grover, a specialist in nutrition, warns that eating products high in sugar and fat like Nutella can lead to fat accumulation, which increases the risk of cardiovascular disease and long-term health problems. While Nutella may taste great and easily become a breakfast staple in many households, a closer look at its ingredients and health impact might make you think twice about adding it to your daily diet. 9. Pringles, potato in name only. Have you ever thought that a can of Pringles could pose a threat to your health? Potato chips are a popular, addictive snack, perfect for movie nights. But do you really understand what you're eating? Surprisingly, Pringles aren't technically potato chips. Contrary to what most people believe, Pringles contain only a very small amount of actual potato. The majority of the content is made up of corn flour, wheat, and rice, all blended into a paste, shaped into thin sheets, deep fried in oil, and coated with artificial flavoring. Essentially, what you're eating is a counterfeit version of real potato chips. But here's what's worse. When starchy foods like potatoes are fried at high temperatures, they produce acrylamide, a chemical linked to cancer. According to research by the Environmental Law Foundation, some potato chip products, including Pringles, contain acrylamide levels up to 910 times higher than the legal limit. Dr. Karen Lewis, a nutrition expert, emphasizes consuming large amounts of processed foods containing acrylamide presents serious health risks, especially when it comes to cancer. So, are you really sure that Little Pringle is worth risking your health? 8. Honey, a sweetness that can kill. Honey, a natural gift often hailed as a superfood for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antibacterial properties. Every time you add a spoon of honey to your tea, you probably think you're nourishing your body with something pure and healthy. But did you know that honey can harbor a hidden, potentially deadly danger? A little-known fact. Honey can cause a rare but serious form of poisoning known as mad honey poisoning. The culprit? A neurotoxin called grayanotoxin, found in rhododendron plants. When bees collect nectar from these flowers, the resulting honey can induce symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, muscle paralysis, hypotension, and in extreme cases, shock. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that mad honey poisoning can pose significant health risks, especially for children. Nutritionists also advise against giving honey to infants under 1 year old due to the risk of botulism poisoning. While honey is often seen as a healthy, natural food, without knowing its origin, you could be putting your life at risk. So, is the honey you're using really safe? Or is it a hidden danger in every golden spoonful? Yadam, kasu marzu, live maggot cheese. Kasu marzu, a traditional dish from the Mediterranean island of Sardinia, is famous for being both disturbing and dangerous. Made from sheep's milk, what sets this cheese apart is the intentional introduction of fly larvae during fermentation. These maggots help break down the cheese, making it soft and gooey. The shocking part? The live maggots are not removed before serving. They're eaten together with the cheese. But beyond being revolting, this dish carries serious health risks. According to a study by the World Health Organization, WHO, the live larvae in the cheese can survive digestion and lead to a parasitic infection called pseudomyiasis. Symptoms include ulcers, inflammation, and intense abdominal pain. Dr. Michael Stevens, a parasitology expert at University Hospital London, warns. Parasitic infections from live maggots can lead to severe complications, sometimes even affecting internal organs. Notably, casu marzu has been officially banned for sale, but it is still illegally produced and sold in underground markets in Sardinia. While some defend the cheese as a part of cultural heritage, health experts strongly advise against its consumption due to the risk of infection and other serious health issues. So, are you brave enough to try a dish that contains live maggots and comes with a real risk of disease? 6. Packaged bread, softened with human hair. What seems like a simple, convenient food item may forever change how you see those familiar slices of bread. Have you ever wondered why supermarket bread stays soft for an entire week without molding or drying out? The answer lies in a compound called L-cysteine, an additive used to soften bread and extend shelf life. Here's the disturbing part. L-cysteine is often extracted from human hair. According to a report by the New York Times, in parts of China, barbershops collect discarded hair, dissolve it in acid, and ship it to bread manufacturers as raw material for this additive. But it doesn't stop there. L-cysteine can also be derived from pig bristles, cow horns, and duck feathers. Just imagine, you're enjoying a sandwich, unaware that the softening agent inside may have come from a source you'd never knowingly consume. While nutrition experts note that L-cysteine is not toxic, they caution that prolonged exposure to ultra-processed foods containing such ingredients could potentially lead to digestive issues and even impact the nervous system over time. So the question is, do you still feel comfortable slicing into industrial bread without knowing what it's really made of? 5. Jelly beans, shiny with a wood polish ingredient. These colorful, sugary treats are a staple at parties and holiday celebrations. But once you know what's really on the surface of a jelly bean, you might think twice before popping another one into your mouth. Did you know the hard, glossy shell on a jelly bean isn't just sugar or wax? In fact, it's made from shellac, a natural resin secreted by the lac bug, an insect native to the forests of India and Thailand. These bugs excrete shellac while feeding on tree sap. The resin is then harvested, processed into flakes, and dissolved in ethanol to be sprayed on various products, from wooden furniture to your candy. Surprisingly, shellac is also used to coat apples, replacing the natural wax that's stripped away during washing. While shellac is not considered harmful to human health, its animal origin makes it unsuitable for strict vegans. On ingredient labels, shellac may be listed as additive E904. Nutritionists agree that eating jelly beans occasionally is unlikely to cause immediate harm, but consuming animal-derived additives regularly could raise concerns, especially for those on plant-based diets. So the question remains, is this sweet little candy really worth the hidden trade-offs for your health or your values? 4. Packaged ground meat. Fake freshness thanks to CO gas. Packaged ground meat is a dinner staple in many households, but you might want to think twice before assuming it's as fresh as it looks. That bright red color in your ground beef? It might not be natural. In fact, the meat may have been treated with carbon monoxide, CO, a colorless, odorless, and toxic gas, to preserve its red appearance even if the meat is already oxidized and starting to spoil. This process is called modified atmosphere packaging, MAP, where gases like CO, CO2, and nitrogen are used to extend the shelf life of meat. However, a study from the Food Quality and Safety Laboratory in Algeria found that CO can actually encourage spoilage bacteria to grow, while masking changes in smell and texture. In other words, you could be buying old meat that just looks fresh. This raises serious concerns about both quality and safety. While countries like Japan and Canada have banned the use of CO in food packaging due to health risks, the United States still permits this method, with little regulatory oversight. Dr. Karen Smith, a food safety expert at the Institute of Nutrition and Health, warns, frequent consumption of foods treated with CO gas can negatively affect health, especially in people with weakened immune systems. 3. Peanut butter, rich, creamy, and mold-contaminated. Peanut butter, a beloved pantry staple, often found at breakfast or as a quick snack. But after learning the truth about it, you might want to think twice before scooping your next spoonful. High-quality peanut butter can be rich in niacin, thiamine, folate, and polyphenols. But it also hides a serious, often overlooked danger: aflatoxins. Aflatoxin is a toxic compound produced by Aspergillus mold, which can grow on peanuts if they're improperly stored or processed. Aflatoxins have been directly linked to liver cancer when consumed frequently in high amounts. This isn't just a general warning. It's a real, documented health threat. A study from the National Cancer Institute found that aflatoxins are a leading cause of liver cancer in many developing countries. But that's not all. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, peanut butter can also contain natural contaminants, including insect fragments and rodent hairs. Yes, it sounds shocking, but food safety experts confirm that in 100 grains of peanut butter, there could be up to 30 insect parts and at least one rodent hair. This, they say, is an unavoidable reality of mass food production. For those with allergies or asthma, such contaminants can trigger serious reactions. Dr. Michael Wallace, a food allergy specialist at the Mayo Clinic, warns, contaminants in food can provoke allergic or asthmatic responses, especially after long-term exposure. So next time you pick up a jar of peanut butter, ask yourself, do you really know what's hidden inside? 2. Natural vanilla flavoring, from a beaver's behind. Natural vanilla flavoring, a familiar ingredient in countless desserts, drinks, and even perfumes. But do you really know where that natural vanilla flavor comes from? Brace yourself. If the label says natural flavoring, and the price is significantly higher than usual, you might be eating something no one wants to talk about: beaver anal gland secretions. Yes, you read that correctly. Castoreum, a substance secreted from a beaver's castor sac located near its anus, has been used as a flavor additive in various products, including those with vanilla flavor. According to the FDA, castoreum is considered generally recognized as safe grass for consumption, but to obtain it, manufacturers must extract the substance manually, a process that requires sedating the animal and applying pressure to its glands. Not exactly appetizing. That said, castoreum is rare, with only about 132 kilograms produced globally per year. Today, most vanilla flavoring comes from synthetic vanillin, which is derived from wood pulp or guaiacol, a compound from petroleum. Still, ingesting castoreum or synthetic vanillin isn't just about odd origins. Medical experts warn that consuming artificial chemicals in food can pose long-term health risks that are still not fully understood. So, the next time you savor something flavored with vanilla, do you really know what you're tasting? 1. Red food dye, 70,000 bugs for 1 pound of color. Marshmallows and Jell-O, beloved childhood treats. Who could forget summer campfires with toasted marshmallows or those refreshing jiggly bites of Jell-O at picnics? But do you know what actually gives them their chewy, bouncy texture? Both marshmallows and Jell-O share a key ingredient: gelatin. Originally, marshmallows were made from the marshmallow plant, but today they're primarily produced using gelatin, corn syrup, and sugar, according to Scientific American. Jell-O is no different. Gelatin is the main component that creates the signature wobble, as noted by Healthline. But what exactly is gelatin? It's a substance extracted from the skin and bones of pigs and cows. The production process involves boiling these animal parts, then drying and soaking them in strong acid or alkaline solutions to extract collagen, a structural protein. That collagen is then ground down into the powder we call gelatin. It doesn't sound very appetizing, but it's the secret behind some of the most nostalgic foods from our childhood. What's more concerning is that consuming highly processed animal-based gelatin could have long-term health implications. Nutritionists warn that products like marshmallows and Jell-O, though fun and familiar, are often loaded with refined sugars and artificial sweeteners, which are far from ideal for anyone trying to follow a healthy diet. So the next time you indulge in one of these treats, you might want to think twice about what you're really eating. Would you still be willing to trade your health for the convenience and flavor of any of the items on this list? Or is there one product you've now sworn you'll never touch again? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an update. And trust us, you won't want to miss the next video. It might just make you rethink everything you thought you knew about your eating habits. See you in the next episode.